The server room never sleeps. It just hums, low, relentless, like the heartbeat of a machine that knows it's more important than the people who feed it. For 27 years, that sound was my home. I was the one who kept the lights on, the drive spinning, the routers breathing. My name is Elena Voss. I was the invisible architect behind Voss Freight Systems, the company my family built on one beat-up semi and a dream. I was crouched under Rack 7, wrist-deep in tangled fiber cables, when my brother Julian stormed in.
Elena.
The video feed in the boardroom is garbage. I'm on a call with Dubai and it looks like I'm broadcasting from 1998. He didn't knock. Never did. Julian treated locked doors like polite suggestions. 38, Armani suit, perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, and the confidence of someone who's never had to reboot anything harder than his ego. I finished crimping the last connector. The link light blinked green. The feed's fine. You're maxing out the upload again. What are you pushing? Another yacht tour reel. He scoffed. Just some pitch deck. Dad wants it perfect before the Singapore meeting. I stood, wiping my hands on my faded Oregon State hoodie. Then use the guest VLAN like I told you 3 times this month. He waved me off and left without a word, the door swinging wide behind him. That night I found it, a misprinted memo jammed in the breakroom printer. Not our logo. Meridian Global Logistics. The vulture fund that bought troubled fleets, gutted them, and sold the parts for profit. My pulse kicked. Meridian didn't partner. They consumed. The next evening I drove to the family compound. Marble columns, infinity pool, the whole brochure version of success. I arrived at 7 sharp, wearing the same hoodie and jeans. Mother, Celeste, greeted me with the smile she reserves for disappointing caterers. You could have at least worn something without a college logo, darling. Father, Harlan, strode in wearing victory like cologne. Julian followed, practically vibrating. We did it, Harlan announced, raising a glass of vintage Napa. This afternoon we signed the letter of intent. Voss Freight is being acquired by Meridian Global for $920 million. Cash and equity. The number landed like a punch. I waited for the rest. It didn't come. What about transition? I asked quietly. The predictive routing engine, the one I wrote from scratch in 2013, is proprietary. It's going to take 8 months to port. They'll need. Meridian has 300 engineers in Bangalore and Austin, Julian cut in. They don't need our little mom-and-pop codebase. I felt the floor tilt. That little codebase is the only reason our margins are 18 points above industry average. Harlan's smile thinned. It's already part of the sale, Elena. Included. You're taken care of. Taken care of how? Celeste sighed. You've had a very generous salary. We paid off your student loans. You should be grateful. I was promised 12% equity vesting after the 2014 turnaround, I said. When I put my entire savings into payroll so the bank wouldn't repossess the fleet. Harlan chuckled, dry as dust. Those were incentive grants, sweetheart. They were clawed back during the 2019 recapitalization. Standard corporate hygiene. Julian hid a smirk behind his wineglass. I looked at the old family attorney, Mr. Caldwell, seated silently beside the candelabra. Is that accurate? Caldwell opened his mouth. Harlan cut him off. Enough. This is a family triumph. Julian will use his portion to launch Voss Capital Partners. He's the future. I stood. So I get nothing. 27 years. I built the system that made this number possible. And I'm nothing. You're the mechanic, Harlan said, voice flat. A very talented one. But still the help. Now sit down or leave. I didn't sit. I dropped my access fob into his untouched risotto and walked out. Back home, my small cedar house on the ridge, surrounded by 12 Langstroth hives, I opened the fire safe. Inside, one yellowing folder. The 2013 Intellectual Property Contribution Agreement. Page 11. Clause 14b. Reversionary interest. If Voss Freight Systems failed to exercise its perpetual license option for the predictive routing patents by paying the agreed $12 million within 14 years of execution, full ownership and all derivative rights would automatically revert to the original inventor. Execution date, March 19, 2013. 14 years later, March 19, 2027. Today was April 2, 2026. They were still 11 months early to panic. But they'd already signed the sale. I logged into the USPTO portal with my creator credentials, uploaded the scanned agreement, highlighted the clause, and clicked Assert Reversion. The confirmation wheel spun for 6 eternal seconds. Recordation pending. 24 to 72 hours. I closed the laptop, poured chamomile tea, and stepped outside. The hives glowed faintly under the motion light. Thousands of bees working in perfect, ruthless order. They don't care about bloodlines. They only care who keeps the colony alive. Tomorrow morning, Meridian would wire $920 million. And sometime next week, someone in their legal department would open an email from the United States Patent Office. They'd learn that the crown jewel they just bought, the routing engine worth hundreds of millions in efficiency gains, now belonged to a woman they'd never met. A woman they'd already fired. I smiled into the dark. Some families build legacies. Others just borrow them. And the bill just came due.